I was working.
I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome everyone to the Vergne Planning Commission regular meeting of November 25th, 2025 at 6 p.m. We do have a quorum. Our first item of business is to approve the meeting minutes from the September 30th, 2025 regular meeting, October 14th, 2025 workshop, October 28th, 2025 regular meeting, and the November 13th, 2025 workshop.
So moved.
We have a motion to accept. We have a second. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We do not have any public comments, but the mayor does have an announcement.
Just from the Planning Commission, we want to wish happy birthday to Mr. Gary, our city engineer. Thank you for everything you do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Gary. We will move on once again. Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Item number 3, site plan, Dose Retail Center, building totaling 4,200 square feet on 1.28 acres, property located at 5130 Murfreesboro Road, tax map 15M, Group A, Parcel 1, C2 Highway Service Zoning District, property owned by TN Group Properties, LLC, requested by Chet Rhodes. Mr. Logan.
Thanks. So this is the Dose Retail Center request for site plan approval, and you can see the site there on the screen. I'm sure everyone's familiar with it by now. And zooming out a little further, you can see we're right here. Where I'm pointing is the site for the proposed retail center. This is the former car wash. It is zoned. This one was submitted under the old zoning, so they were held to the C2 standard, so no issue there with the zoning. There's a site photo. This is the rear of the building. And you can see the existing bay doors that have been there for quite a while. So this is the front of the building that faces Brewer Street, and this will remain the front of the retail center. So moving to the site plan. There's really, for a couple months, haven't been many comments left except that sidewalk tie-in on the north side next to Murfreesboro Road, and that's been taken care of. And I believe all the other comments have been addressed.
Perfect. Have any questions or comments on this item?
I have one.
Mayor.
Gary, where's the dumpster enclosure on the site plan? I see some drawings for the screening for the dumpster, but I do not see it actually listed anywhere on here.
I have not looked for a dumpster enclosure on these plans in a couple of submittals. Says old. Okay, it is, if you look at sheet, well, in your packet, where are these now? 30 of 173. You can see it is down at the corner of the property near Mr. Serrani's building, next to the 1-foot oval RCP on the right off the driveway from George Cheney Road.
Okay, but it is there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it is, you have your little thing?
Here it is.
Right
There.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, do we have a representative here? Just on one other comment.
Is there someone to represent this? If you would, please come to the podium. State your name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Jonathan Bradshaw, 1108 Ridgeway Drive. I'm representing Rhodes Engineering.
Thank you, sir.
That's Franklin, Tennessee.
Just one comment. I want to make sure you understand the engineering comment about that before the CO you dedicated must be dedicated to the issuance of the CO for the access easement. Are you aware of that, and are you okay with that?
Yes.
You didn't seem very convincing.
Yes, you're aware, or yes, you're okay?
Yes, we're aware.
Okay, and you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments from the applicant?
I'll make a motion to accept as submitted.
We have a motion to accept. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, sir. Item number 4, recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen rezoning of property 9.67 acres. Property located on Sanford Road, tax map 28, parcel 1.01, current zoning district A, agricultural zoning district, proposed zoning district PDR R3 planned density residential with high density R3 base zoning district. Property owned by Chow Wen Dong, requested by Last of the Loggers LLC. Mr. Logan.
So this is a request for rezoning, and this site, you can see on the screen, is it's on the way to Laverne High School. It's on the west side of Cheney, and it's in between Cheney and Sanford Drive. It is zoned ag, so this is a closer view, and you can see it's just vacant. Currently, it is heavily wooded. This request is to take it from agriculture, which is what you're seeing here on this map. So it's to take it from agriculture to R3 with to PDR with an R3 base. And here's the sign, picture showing the sign that's currently posted, and you can see the sidewalk that runs along Cheney. And then this is the other side, the western side of the property. This is Sanford Drive. And you can see it's pretty narrow. I'll move on. So this is the design booklet that they submitted. So this shows the layout that they're proposing. So you'd have the main entrance here off Cheney, and then you enter in and you could go left or right, and then those streets branch out and run all the way to the back of the property, and they both end in cul-de-sacs. But the main thing here is the product they're proposing is single-family throughout. There's no multifamily of any type being proposed. With this plan, their lots would be 40 feet wide and 100 feet long, so we're talking 4,000 square foot lots. And then also in the booklet, you may have seen in your packet, so they also have the bedroom count. So all homes would have at least 3 bedrooms. All homes have eaves, a patio. All have a 2-car front entry garage. And then for material type, they specify front elevations consisting of brick, stone, LP, fiber cement board, siding, and that pretty much goes for the side elevations as well. And then their setbacks with this booklet would be 20 feet for the front, a 5-foot side setback, and the rear would be 20 feet. And then these pages show some typical architectural elevations of what you might expect when these homes are built. These elevations here are 1 story. I'll zoom in. You can see the front loaded garages. So those are 1, and then this product is their 2-story. I believe at this point,
I have a couple.
yeah, so just wanted to say a little bit about the surrounding properties. So this area really has several zoning districts. As you know, as you go up Cheney toward the 3-way stop with Old Nashville, that entire right side now is zoned high-density R3. And then, of course, right across the street from this, you have the old junkyard I guess, that sold out and was bought by Old South Properties 3 years ago, and that's being developed into townhomes. So that's directly across the road from here. And then there's R2 to the south as you go toward the high school. So a lot of R2, a lot of R3 mixed in. So I'll turn it over to Gary. Thanks.
All right, I just had two comments, variations on the same theme, and they come from the development agreement, and just wanted it clear because the agreement does not seem to give doesn't seem to agree that the developer will pay off-site costs for road and water and sewer improvements, and just wanted to make this agreement must be clear that the city will not be paying for the off-site roadway, water, sewer improvements that are specific to this project.
Very good. Do you have comments, sir?
Yes, sir. Looking at it, having more than 30 homes, I believe it's going to require to have more than one entrance and egress out of that neighborhood. 30 is the cutoff for IFC to have one, regardless if they're sprinkled or not. So there will have to be an additional entrance or exit leaving the property, the subdivision itself.
Very good. Do we have a representative here this evening for this project?
Yes, sir. Matt Taylor of SCC. Also got the client with me as well. As far as the development agreement, we don't have any problem adding that language in, Gary.
Okay.
I downloaded the agenda earlier today, and we're good adding that in. And the second entrance, do you want that to be a fully functioning entrance or like an emergency gated type entrance? We did it this way just because it's such a narrow property. We were afraid it would create a very convenient cut through from Sanford over to Cheney.
Yes, sir.
And that's why those are two cul-de-sacs on there.
So functioning, that's irregardless on the fire aspect. It just has to be an approved fire department accessible roadway.
Okay.
So however you want to label that, with approval with the Planning Commission, that's fine with us as long as it meets the apparatus access requirements within Appendix D.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments for the applicant?
So just going back to you don't want to put the road through onto the other side of the development. What's the thinking behind that? I know it's not a very good road, but what's the thinking?
Just because it's so close together, we thought people would wind up, instead of wanting to go up to the intersection to the north, they would wind up using it as a cut through between us to get between us and Cheney and Sanford right there. That was our fear. Because we did evaluate that. We looked at some grades, and just given the relatively short distance there and the draw to the high school over on Cheney, thought that would wind up being a cut through that would detract in the neighborhood itself.
How do you feel about it?
Yeah.
I've got one question for you, Matt, about when we're looking at the styles and colors.
Yes, sir.
So that there's really no colors listed in this when we're looking at the materials.
Yes, sir.
But we've done this with Twinnings and I want to say with Arbor Ridge, but we got to percentages on there.
As far as the materials go?
Yes. And so, Graham, do you remember? Yeah, I know you remember Twinning because we went back and forth in a meeting on this one. But did we do that with Arbor Ridge?
It was per their PDR booklet, so I don't recall what the PDR booklet said. But it's obviously more, by looking at this, it's more on those ones than it is on these. So this is a less on the frontage, certainly on the material, is less than the previous ones we've looked at.
Yeah. So if y'all could work out like percentages for us.
Of the breaker stone?
Yes.
Okay.
Could we do a 60-40, 80-20?
I think it was a 60-40 from what I can recall.
I'll give you something to go by, sir.
Was that on the front, or is that all four sides, do you recall? I don't remember that on Arbor.
Street facing.
That was street facing.
On street facing? Okay.
And Matt, these are homes for sale, correct? Or these
Yes.
are available for sale?
They're all for sale.
For
Yes,
sale.
sir.
Okay, and Matt, on that, if you could give a clear definition of what's meant by masonry or stone. We had one where hardy board fell under the definition of masonry, and we don't want that again.
Yes, sir. Yeah, well, yeah, brick or stone would be our,
Right.
and then we're not allowing any vinyl in this except for in the trim and soffits. So if it's a siding material, it would still be the LP or the hardy, but that will not count toward, I think, what they're asking
Okay,
for.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Matt, just another question. I know this is a rezoning request. Approximate range of the homes when you think they're finished is a matter of interest for the public to know? Any idea?
As far as price range?
Yes.
So based on the square footages, we're starting at about 1,650 and going up to almost 2,500. And so I would anticipate these to run anywhere from about 350 to probably, a little bit over 500, I think, given the prices per square foot we're seeing in the market today. I think that's fair.
And then one more, Matt. On the neighbour across the street, we put a acceleration lane in. Is that planned to be in there as well to get people off Cheney?
So what we've talked about with Gary early on was doing a traffic study at the preliminary plat stage, I think, and then we'll, whatever recommendations, if that's a right turn lane or left turn lane, we would construct our part of that.
And one thing I would say to factor into that, I know it's not open yet, but we can all see it's under construction, is factor in what that increase with the school addition is going to do, because that's going to allow more students into that school. So,
do y'all know how many more school students? Do you know, Gary?
We have had it in our files, but I can't guarantee what we have in our files right now.
Okay.
I'll reach out to Dr. Sullivan, see if I can get a number and get it over to you, or Dr. Hatchett.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We still have a couple of items left to address. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to defer.
We have a motion to defer. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir. We will see you after the first of the year. Item number 5, site plan MBI building totaling 8,800 square feet on 5 acres. Property located at 393 Mason Road, tax map 17, parcel 15.01. I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District, property owned by Mr. Bolts, Inc., requested by Griggs and Maloney, Inc. Mr. Logan.
This is the site plan request for the MBI. This is a tractor-trailer repair facility, and it's located on Mason Road. And you can see right here, it's one of the few parcels in that area that's not developed already. So most things have already been built out there. So this lot is at the corner of Sanders Drive, so intersection of Sanders and Mason, which is where I'm pointing here. And this lot's currently vacant, and they fall under the I-2 zoning, which is all of this dark blue, navy blue color. This is a photo, the existing conditions. Just some vegetation there and some past, looks like haphazard grading that's happened over the decades. So moving on to the site plan. So this is the site layout. This building, shown in yellow here, the proposed building is 8,800 square feet. And you can see the regular auto parking is proposed here in front of the building, and then this is tractor-trailer parking, and it's striped for that use at the rear of the property. And then you can see the ingress, egress here off Mason and then to the south onto Sanders. They're not showing... I believe they've got the sidewalk there, so that takes care of that comment. So that completes the report.
Thank you, sir. Representative for this project here this evening?
Hunter Patton, Griggs and Maloney, 714 North Military Avenue, Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Thank you, sir. I guess I'll ask the commission, is everybody satisfied with the plans? We tried to work through it with that second entrance, Mr. Coates.
Yes, yeah, I appreciate you working with us on that. I suppose my question is it just so difficult to put it out onto the major road versus the the minor, well, I won't say minor road, but the collector road, as we call it?
Really, I think it'd be possible to get tucked back around to Mason, but then I think by the time you gave a proper radius for a semi truck to come in and out, it'd be one swoop from Sanders into the driveway, so they would be extremely tight there together.
Is there a reason why you've curved it? I mean, is there just? I mean, sure there is. Well, you did it, but what?
Yeah, I guess the answer to that is, I guess they have multiple facilities. Now, maybe not as challenging as this site with the fall, but this is, I guess, a layout they've done historically, and I guess it works. It works good for them, so that's the layout they want to proceed with.
Question for Gary. Gary, do you envision an issue of turning out onto Sanders Drive with a tractor trailer? What's your thoughts on that?
I talked with Mr. Patton about this, and they do have. I mean, it's going onto a steep road, but it is the lesser of evils. Going straight down to Mason is too steep. You can see by the retaining wall. Trying to do what Mr. Patton's talking about and curl back around is going to put us right at the intersection, which is also worse. So this is the best alternative they have to get a second exit out, in my opinion.
So let me ask, Hunter, do we envision anybody trying to use that as an entrance, turning off of Mason, making a right-hand turn onto Sanders, and then trying to make a left-hand turn into this facility? Because in the morning and the afternoon, that stop sign backs up, usually to the second or third house.
Okay.
And so if that's the case, you could wind up with a kind of a bottleneck there, where the truck can't turn because you have all these cars queued up.
No, so that secondary entrance, I'm not going to say it won't ever be used, but that's not their main. That's not going to be their main passageway. That was requested to add the secondary driveway. Like I said, it's a steep drive. So, in the snowstorms, ice storms, that 12% probably will be a little steep. Now, like I said, Sanders Drive is, I guess, at 12% as well, and there's still the cross slope. But I don't think that will be a normally used passageway, especially, to really use that, like you said, to either use that, you'd have to pass the main entrance there and come on down, or you'd have to come through the neighborhood to the east of us.
I'm thinking if you come from industrial. So let's say you hop off 24, either at Sam Ridley or at Waldron, you pop onto industrial, hop over to Mason, and then you hit Sanders to make that turn. You turn right onto Sanders, and then y'all's entrance is on the left. That's what I'm thinking.
So are you saying, will it be an issue of us getting into that entrance in the morning?
Are we expecting people to use that as an entrance, trucks to use that? Because that area backs up right there with residential traffic in the mornings and the afternoons. So I don't know if signage or pork chop could help with that, but...
go ahead. Sorry.
But I know that area. My father lives on Sanders, so I'm over there quite a bit, and I'm used to seeing all of the backup and sitting in it.
No, sir. I do not. Like I said, I do not believe Sanders Drive will be used for tractor trailers.
But is it possible to put signage to have it as maybe only an out versus an in and out?
I guess we if required, we could put exit only or exit only signs if that's what is required. We could do that.
The address, because obviously they're going to put the GPS in, and then they're going to obviously go to the address. So the address is not shown on Sanders, correct? Yeah, okay. And if we put some signage on there for entrance?
I would ask for signage to just be an exit only. I think the chairman asked for it to just be an exit only originally. So I definitely think signage would help. If you're so inclined for pork chops really stop all of that, but I'll leave that between the city engineer and you guys, because that's what y'all went to school for.
But I appreciate your work with us on, because if something emergency, whatever, it's just good to have two points.
Yeah, and I think that's, the more of the thought behind the secondary driveways for emergency access. Something happens in that first one, somebody gets blocked up, something happens, to be able to get back around to it.
And that's a busy little street.
Yeah.
It's subject to happen right there.
I just know we've got another development down the road that with Mason, that we would have regularly tractor trailers going through a very narrow 2-lane road of residential to get, and they would bypass all of the larger road on Bain to get there. And so, just because that's where GPS took them. But Hunter, can you and Gary work on that?
He's worked with me through the comment list so far, so I hope he doesn't stop now.
Any other questions or comments?
Sir?
Any other questions or comments, Gary?
No. They started off, if you'll recall, with 70 comments. They went away, have worked great with us. We've really appreciated the relationship.
And is this something we can handle at final plat if anything comes up?
It's a site plan,
So it needs to be on
but
the
it
site.
is a very minor change to the plans.
Okay.
So it's up to the discretion of the commission.
Well, with that, I will entertain a motion.
You want to move forward? We're laughing because obviously normally we don't like contingencies, but being a street sign or signage, I'm going to go make forward and make a motion to accept as submitted.
We have a motion to accept as submitted.
Second.
Discussion.
With the signage, or just accept as it currently is submitted?
No, so the motion would be to accept submitted, but obviously pursuant upon working with staff on the signage.
Right. And what we'll do is we will not issue a land disturbance permit until we have a plan that shows the proper signage for an exit only.
Juliet, can you make sure that all gets in the minutes? Thank you. Sorry.
So we have a motion on the table to accept as submitted with appropriate comments from staff, sir.
Right.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Thank you, sir, and thank you for working so hard on that project. Thank you, everyone. Item number 6, Site Plan 164 Cheney Boulevard. 10 townhomes on 0.96 acres, property located at 164 Cheney Boulevard. Tax map 18P, Group E, Parcel 4, R3 High Density Residential Zoning District. Property owned by Fahim Iran, requested by Morley Corp. Mr. Logan.
So this is the request for site plan at 164 Cheney Boulevard. And you can see here on the screen, it's the lot here, rectangular lot outlined in blue. So this is on the west side of Cheney, and it's actually not far from the two items back, just north of that rezoning request on Cheney. And if we zoom in, so this is the lot with the close-up. This is currently a vacant lot. There's no buildings there. And the zoning is R3, which is the green color. So it's been zoned high density for a long time. And this is a photo of the site. And there's several trees there. And then this shows the frontage of the site on Cheney with the existing sidewalk, which is on the west side, also same side as this project. So moving on to the site plan, we still have 2 buildings, which is what they've had from the beginning. And the building closest to the road has 4 units, and the building behind has 6 units for a total of 10. And these are townhomes, of course, so everything is 2 stories. And the parking, they do have about 14 parking spaces between the 2 buildings, and then the rest are in a long run as you go toward the back of the property. And this one is also old business, so we've had it a while. They had several comments in the beginning, but they've worked through them all. So that completes the report.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments from the board on this item? Do we have a representative here this evening? Name and address for the record, sir.
Good evening. My name is Alejandro Mojica with Morley, 2603 Elm Hill Pike, Suite I, Nashville, Tennessee.
Thank you, sir. Mayor?
We spoke last month at the workshop about like a turning lane, a deceleration lane. Where did that ever go?
Yeah, I believe we spoke that on the first workshop that we attended, and we submitted some information to Gary describing what, doing like a small analysis. We didn't do a full-blown study because it wasn't required, and we've come to the conclusion that it's not required based on the low amount of turning movements that's going to happen on the site due to this development.
And we reviewed that and did concur.
Okay.
Mr. Coates?
The turning around of a fire truck, how are we going to handle that, or what's the plan for that?
Okay, so they this one's not the fire truck. This one is the garbage truck that you also asked about. And in terms of the fire department, I'll turn it over to Fire Marshal Brinkley.
Yes, sir. When we reviewed this site plan a few weeks back, their distances did not require an approved turnaround because of the length and the turnaround access right there. So the biggest thing we were looking at was the access to the furthest distance of the building, make sure it was in 150 foot. Of course, that was adequate. So as far as turnaround, the code itself is not going to require them to put any special approved turnaround apparatus there.
Yes, Dr. Stern. Any other questions or comments?
Curtis, where's the closest fire hydrant?
Sir, I'd have to look it up on First Due to give you an exact answer. If you'd like, I can try to do so real quick. I know that Cheney Boulevard has plentiful water. If that's something that
I believe it's at the intersection of Sanford Road and Cheney Boulevard, and it's about 350 feet from the property.
That sounds about right. I do believe there's one right there in the smaller church parking area that has a larger gravel lot.
Okay.
Fairly certain there's one there on that side of the road.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And more than satisfactory for your department?
Yes, sir. I mean, their entranceway would be within that 400 to 500 feet. So it would be satisfactory for us.
Very good. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Then we'll entertain a motion. Anyone want to make a motion?
I guess just to make a quick comment. It's very, very, very congested. I mean, that's kind of my one concern. It may be allowable and acceptable and whatnot, but gosh, I just don't like it. I just don't like the layout. I don't like the plan. So that's my hesitation. But maybe my colleagues could also chime in.
Anyone?
I'm at the same boat. It's just the density is very, very high. The other applicant before us and the one previous to that, the deacceleration lane, getting traffic off that very busy road is a concern for me. The amount of homes is, although you meet the intent, it is just very, very congested. And it's just a problem for me on that road in that area.
Well, understandable.
With the study that was done, is that including what, with the item
coming
just
down
before, is that including that, or is that like without that even being present too? Because that's also going to increase traffic flow.
A full traffic study wasn't done. What they did an analysis of how many turning movements these 10 units would create at rush hour, how many cars would be sitting there and blocking traffic, and the delay was seconds.
I mean, again, we do have residents coming in and out, but we also have garbage trucks. We also have Amazon trucks. We also have postal trucks. We also have, there's a lot going on, even though it's just 10 units. And then just that additional backup then on Cheney, which is already strained, to put it mildly.
Any further comments? And I'll leave the floor open for a motion.
All right, let me break this out here. I'm going to make a motion to deny because of the Planning Commission's concerns about traffic coming on to Cheney, getting traffic off Cheney. And that's all I can come up with at the moment.
I have a motion to deny due to traffic safety concerns. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item number 7 has been withdrawn. We will move on to item number 8. Final plat, Glendale subdivision, re-subdivision of lots 6A and 6B, 2 lots on approximately 0.29 acres, property located on Murfreesboro Road, tax map 18A, Group A, parcels 8 and 9, DD Downtown District, property owned by Webster Wood Pickard Jr., requested by Huddleston Steel. Mr. Logan.
Thanks. So this is final plat request. This is a minor final plat. And you can see this is Murfreesboro Road at the top of the image and Sunset Drive. So that's the intersection there, the two streets. And basically you have some older buildings. You've got an older office building. You'll see here. So existing office is both of these square areas, and they're linked. And then you have an existing residence to the south, and that's on lot 6B. So 6A is here to the north and 6B to the south. But you see there's a dotted line that runs right through this existing office building. So the main purpose of this plat is to clean up this situation since it's very awkward. Right now it's a legal non-conforming lot, but I understand they may be selling the lot or both lots, and so step one would be to get this property line rectified so that it's not running through a building. So that's, in a nutshell, what this plat is about. And there's no staff comments. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions or comments on this item?
I have a couple, Mr. Womble, if he's available.
Mr. Womble, if you would come to the podium, sir. This is Mr. Womble.
Yeah, Danny's not.
Danny's not on this one.
Okay.
This is Huddleston Steel.
Yeah.
Mr. Womble.
Sorry, Mr. Womble.
He really trusts you.
I thought it was yours.
that.
Hudson Steel, but obviously, sorry, Mr. Womble. I must admit, I presumed it was you. You moved around there, had your book out, and I presume you're on there, so I apologise.
He's up next.
He's up next,
I'll
sir.
be here if you need me later.
Oh, don't worry, we're going to call you up there.
Do we have a representative for this item? If you would, please state your name and address for the record. Mr. Coates has a question.
It's Grant Chapman with Huddleston Steel Engineering, 2115 Northwest Broad Street in Murfreesboro.
Thank you.
So the concept of this is just to break up the two lots.
Yes, the existing property line runs straight through that second part of the building and has for years. And with the situation with the family and the transferring to the younger, they're looking at possibly selling off one of the lots, and can't really do it. You've got a business that's running right there with the line going through. So it's just for the purposes of moving that line to make both properties being separate with the structures on them.
Well, appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Womble, you concur?
In that picture, is it the brick and the white building next to it? Are those the ones that are connected?
Yes.
And then the further one is the one all by itself?
The farther one there is the residence.
Gotcha. So that line runs right through the white one in the middle?
Yes.
Right, okay,
Right
got
about that door.
Thanks.
Essentially, it's just cleaned up.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments? We'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the request.
Second.
Motion to approve and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 9, site plan, Hugo Tire Shop, building addition totaling 1,200 square feet on 4.6 acres, property located at 5378 Murfreesboro Road, tax map 18A, Group A, parcel 31, CC Central Commercial Zoning District, property owned by Phil Goodell, requested by Womble and Associates, PLLC. Mr. Logan.
Thanks. This is a site plan request at Hugo's Tire, and this is located at 5378 Murfreesboro Road. You can see photos here of the existing business. So this is on the south side of Murfreesboro Road. It's near or just past the Chipotle and the Seven Brews under construction. It'd be very close to there, but on the opposite side of the road. Here's another photo of the business. It's quite a large area. And the existing main building is this yellow building here off to the right of the image. There is a lot of gravel. There's also some asphalt existing. So this is, I believe, so this site plan shows, and this came up at the workshop for those that were not here. This is a large lot, and it is more or less deeded into 4 businesses. Mr. Womble may talk more about that, but the question was asked at the workshop, why are we just looking at this quadrant of the larger lot? Because there's 4 different lots, actually, and it was deeded that way many, many years ago, and I think this is all past the litmus test at the Register of Deeds, so it's legal, in case that question comes up. So we're talking about just this quadrant closest to Murfreesboro Road that's Hugo Tires. So the dark rectangular shape here is the proposed building, and it's 1,200 square feet. And then the existing tire shop is about 2,100, which is next door to it. And there's also the 41 court, which is shown here, also as a cul-de-sac. So I believe the staff comments remaining are about the exterior materials because it's in the overlay district, and then there is the sidewalk requirement as well. And those are the planning comments, and then I'll turn it over to Mr. Lyden.
All right. My comment number 1 was kind of me going all engineer on this thing. Basically, they have a design that works, but their reasoning did not, so I just didn't want to establish a precedent for their reasoning. But one thing they're doing is they're taking this area here, which presently has gravel and cars in it. They're removing all of that. They're planting grass in there, which makes a grass filter, which filters the water as it comes out of this area and before it leaves the site into the ditch along Murfreesboro Road, which does comply, in my opinion, with the stormwater management ordinance. I do want them to add a note that the proposed grass area between the building and Murfreesboro Road cannot be used for parking, storage of cars, or open storage, so that the codes department can enforce that in the future if necessary. My item number 3 was an oversight on my part that should not be there. Then I have the sidewalks, and then item number 5 is a simple typo that needs correction.
Would a representative for this project please come to the podium? Name and address, sir.
Danny Womble, 216 Centerview Drive, Suite 180, Brentwood, Tennessee.
We're still missing a couple of things. So we're missing a materials board, sidewalk, note. These things.
Correct. Let me give you a brief history and overview of where we are and where we came from and how we got here. I was brought into this project in September, and this is really not a development project or building project. What this is came out of an enforcement issue over a codes violation for the storage of tires. So actually in September when I got involved, my first assignment was to go to court and to answer questions about what's required to get a permit to come into compliance because of the non-compliant storage, which I did. And then I was retained to go in and do the surveying and do the site plan and the engineering that's before you now. The design requires a site plan for a plan commission to approve before you can pull a building permit for a building addition. So that process is really primarily for the development of projects where a voluntary developer comes in, buys a property, tears down a building, wants to build a big new development of some type, and then they have to comply with all these things in the regulations. So what started with one violation of storage then turned into the need to take gravel paving or gravel parking and turn it into a paved parking area, add handicap parking spaces, a dumpster, bring the driveways into compliance because as you saw with the photographs, this was just an open, continuous access all the way up down 41 Court. The current regulations don't allow that type of access. Then, as you heard in the staff report, which I agree with everything staff said, have to bring it into compliance with stormwater. Then there was landscape requirements that had to be met. Then, of course, the sidewalk requirements and architectural requirements. So a client that's not a developer, that doesn't have an association with an architect and a builder, started with one violation, and now he feels like trying to take care of that one violation. Now he's got about 8 violations to deal with. So he started the process thinking he had a requirement to build about a $20,000 storage addition to satisfy the code violation. His current bid with these plans is $350,000. So he, at this point, has not authorized me to agree with the sidewalk requirement. He has been trying to comply with architectural requirements and just hasn't been able to get someone to prepare the materials board and the renderings to show you what the building would look like. And really, quite honestly, even though they've put a lot of effort into it, they're also changing the design of the building, trying to do some cost control, cost management, because it's really just storage. I mean, there's no bathrooms, there's no kitchen, there's no improvements inside, so they're struggling with the cost on this. So that's where we are. So we will and we'll try to provide the architectural stuff, but we're here tonight asking you to reconsider relieving them of having to build the sidewalks. The sidewalks are kind of a double whammy because it's a corner lot, so they have sidewalks on 2 sides. So it's almost double the sidewalks that you would have on an interior lot. So that's where we are. Would you consider giving relief on the sidewalks?
We've held strong, but I'll go with the comments from the board.
I would not be in favor of offering relief. And again, there's just there's some businesses and some uses that just aren't conducive to some sites. And that's kind of what I'm feeling we're running into here. It's just to get it to work, and you had mentioned the dollar amounts that we're talking about. Sometimes it's, maybe this business just doesn't belong there and belongs elsewhere. Again, the site just is not conducive to what we're trying to accomplish here. That's where I'm at.
I understand what you're saying, and quite frankly, I agree with you. Yeah. But it's hard to tell a business that's operated there for 30 years that they've been operating on the wrong site for 30 years and they need to go away.
Yeah, understand.
Comments?
Ms. Womler, the comment I have is that we are, Murfreesboro Road is one of our major thoroughfares, and we're trying to, as this board's worked really hard on the other side of the street and bringing some great retail, and we've asked those people to put the sidewalks in, and they've done it. The citizens like walkability. We're hearing more and more out of it, and so I still feel that the sidewalks needs to go in. I know you've picked on a job here that's an awkward one for you, but as you know, this board's very consistent over the years, and I think, to be fair to not only the other applicants that come through here to put the sidewalk in, and the city and its citizens, I still say we need to put the sidewalks in.
Well, I agree with you, and part of my business is getting paid to design sidewalks. I'm all for sidewalks, but I'm relaying to you my client's position.
Yes, sir.
So, just piggybacking off what Alderman Coates said, this is a commercial corridor for the city. It's already trafficked by pedestrians on both sides of the road. We have a CMAQ grant as part of a larger effort across Murfreesboro Road, Highway 41, to improve pedestrian accessibility through that area. So I don't see that it's appropriate to waive that condition. It's in the right of way, so I think the sidewalk should be there.
I'd also like to piggyback off of everybody else's, but I just think, like, with it being, a main roadway, it's not like it's somewhere tucked back, and I feel like that was kind of the whole purpose of requiring sidewalks in the city and that whole fight that came along with it. So I think it would just be kind of silly to say, maybe not this time, when that's kind of one of the main roads through the city.
We do also, just for historical precedent, we do have another property in the city that had codes violations tied to storage of tires, and that property, whenever they built the storage facility for their tires, put sidewalks in on Old Nashville Highway.
Major improvements, Mr. Jim.
I think everyone's got it. Okay. Same here.
So we're pretty adamant on the sidewalks.
Okay, I have my client representative here. The owner's not here. Let me ask him if he would be willing to defer to the project. Eric, can you come up?
Name and address, kindly,
Eric
sir.
Metzger, 5382 Murfreesboro Road.
Yes, sir.
Would you be willing to defer?
Yeah.
Could we defer the project, come back in January?
I'll make a motion to defer.
We'll make
Second.
it. We have a motion to defer. Who's the second?
Second.
Mr. Mark seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We will see you after the first of the year.
Thank you.
Motion passes.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving.
As well,
Merry
sir.
Christmas, sir.
Thank you.
Item number 10, final plat, Blair Ridge, 141 townhomes on approximately 15.84 acres. Property located on Blair Road, tax map 29, parcel 21.01, R3 High Density Residential Zoning District. Property owned by Four Star Real Estate Group, requested by Wilson and Associates. Mr. Logan.
Thanks. This is a final plat request for Blair Ridge. So this is the part of the townhome project that's pretty typical for this type project, and it's the HPR plat, which is the horizontal property regime. So you can see, here's a photo here of the construction that's ongoing out there on Blair Road. So getting to the plat, this HPR plat, the whole purpose is to designate which elements of the plat are public and which elements of the plat are semi-public. So let me zoom in here on the legend. So you can see here the top line is right-of-way dedication, and then they show the symbol for that. And then they designate the lots for each townhome, and then they have limited common elements, which is basically this X pattern, and then common area or open to all people in the development is no color. So as you zoom out, you can see how they show each lot, and then they show at the front and the back of each lot, they're showing those that X pattern, which is a limited common element. And then the remaining parts, which are not colored, would be common area to all the residents. And I believe other than that, there's no staff comments. Is that correct?
Correct.
So
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Do we have a representative here this evening for this project? Name and address for the record, ma'am.
Abigail Overstreet, 108 Beasley Drive, Franklin, Tennessee. I'm a representative of Wilson & Associates.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we have any questions or comments for the applicant? With none, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to accept is submitted.
Second.
We have a motion to accept and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Item number 11, our final item for the year, bonds and letters of credit.
Hi, Commissioners. Oh, gosh. Hello.
Thank you, ma'am.
My mic's not on. I don't have a bond list, but the bonds are all up to date and good. So I just need you to trust me on that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's it.
Any
Happy
questions
Thanksgiving.
as well? Any questions or comments on this item? With that, happy holidays, everyone. Meeting adjourned.